and I have to redo this entire video because it wasn't recording audio. But anyway, just to reiterate, I finally got the tree farm working. Yesterday, I was trying to set up a multi-block grid tech machine, and I started seeing that there was an issue again with the deployers not actually planting saplings on these blocks or whatever. So um, I was watching a video or whatever on my Mac partition or whatever, and I'm on the Windows boot camp partition right now playing the game and all that. And I seen I was watching the video and I seen a Reddit post and all that, and I went to the subreddit, and basically the deployers are basically fake players. You know what I'm saying? So the deployer itself has to what am I doing? I got boots on. Yeah, the deployers themselves are actually coded as fake players and all that. So if you have your chunks claimed and all that, you know what I'm saying, with FTB chunk, you know what I'm saying. If you have your chunks claimed and all that, then deploys won't actually work. You know what I'm saying. The reason why you have your chunks claimed is it's basically for multiplayer servers and all that. So if you claim a chunk, which is a section of the world or whatever, then nobody else that's not on your team or you can actually place or destroy blocks inside of that area. You know what I'm saying? The reason why you use it in single player world is because there's a secondary function for FTP chunks where you can force load a chunk, which is called chunk loading and all that. Um, Chunk loading allows all your machines and everything else to operate inside of that section of the world when you walk away from it and travel, far distances away from that particular chunk or whatever. Normally in vanilla Minecraft, when you walk too far away from your chunk with your machines in it, they all stop working because the player is not around to actually load the chunk. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why you need a chunk loader. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, you know what I'm saying? Because of that, this entire time for all of these weeks or whatever, that I was wondering why my tree farm actually works in my creative world, but it doesn't work here, is because the chunks are loaded. You know what I'm saying? So what I had to do with to actually do that was create an actual team, which I never actually do in a single player world. So I created a team. I'm the only person in my team, but I went to settings and I look for allow for all fake players right here. This is defaulted to false or whatever. So just turned it on, made it true, and then exited back out, and then ran the machine again. You know what I'm saying? When I ran the machine again, it planted all of these saplings again, and the trees actually grew. You know what I'm saying? No issue, no problem. You know what I'm saying? So that basically fixes this issue, and it taught me something uh, about the deployers. You know what I'm saying? Just another little nugget of information or whatever to actually learn about, modern Minecraft or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But the whole reason I'm making this video is because of what I'm about to show you right now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I'm down here at the very tail end of the left side of my base, and I got all these basic machines, all these basic single block Greg Tech machines actually built, and I got an EBF built. One of them. I'm actually building the second one right here, and I'll talk about this in a minute. But yeah, these are all the basic machines right here. You know what I'm saying? This is a lot. This basically allows for automation of large amounts of items or whatever. So I was just using this bender down here to make foil, and I have bronze foil down here, and I have copper nickel foil, and the machine actually backed up. And you also get better ratios for your resources. So I get a 1 to 4 ratio right here. So 1 ingot equals 4 foil. And when you do this normally, without that, it'll be like 3 to 2 or something like that. Like 3 ingots to make 2 plates or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why you use these machines or whatever. And normally you can't pump items into this block. You know what I'm saying? There's no auto input function, so I just use the pipe or whatever. You know what I'm saying? From this barrel or whatever, and I could just dump stuff in there, and it automatically craft up and what's the name and make all the things. So this is what this is mostly used for, is foil and plates and stuff like that. I could believe you make plates and stuff like that, and double plates and all that. And this right here is the basic assembler. This is basically Greg Tech's version of an auto crafter, and there's a lot of recipes that are specific to this pack that can only be made in here, and some of them you need actual fluid. You know what I'm saying? So right now I have liquid tin alloy, and I was making these Cooper nickel coil blocks, and these can only be made uh, with foil, bronze foil, and you need the Cooper nickel foil to actually make those in the wires, and you throw it into this the basic assembler with liquid tin alloy. You know what I'm saying? Which is tin alloy is it's an alloy of tin and something else. I made it a while ago, just batch crafted all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like anything Greg Tech, you basically got to batch craft it. Anyway, polarize up here. This is the magnetized, all different types of metals. These are basically crafting components. You know what I'm saying? Wire mill, same thing. Crafting components. This makes wire out of everything. You get a beta ratio. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, mixer mixes up dust. You know what I'm saying? You mix up different dust. You know what I'm saying? All these different pages, all the different recipes. So there's 262 recipes, different stuff. You know what I'm saying? To make out of this. Same thing for the macerator. You know what I'm saying? Macerator is like every other macerator from every traditional tech mile, which is just macerates metals down in the dust. But you don't get like double outputs or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So there's no real ore doubling with this. This just makes dust or whatever. This is good for automation because you need dust mostly in Greg Tech to get a lot of different byproducts, so you can get more dust, and dust turns back into ingots. So you can use that method to actually double stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like macerated to a centrifuge or something like that. The extraction pulls liquids out of different materials or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Then over here we got the centrifuge. This is what I was talking about. So this breaks your dust down into different stuff. You can manipulate it different ways or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You have to check the recipes. Chemical reactor. You know what I'm saying? Takes different metals and gases and makes different products out of that. Got to keep rubbing my eye. You know what I'm saying? Feel like I got pink eye, but I don't. The electrolyzer different dust. Forge hammer actually makes plates. This is a basic machine. I kind of actually don't need this because I have a bender already for the plates, and I have an extruder, which is an MV machine. Um, for plates. So this is a basic machine to basically just make plates. But this is what I was talking about, the ratio. The ratio is actually not that great. It's meant to be just an early game machine. This is better than the steam forge. So this is just an electric forge, but it's 3 ingots for 2 plates, which is not really good because you're losing 1 ingot. You know what I'm saying? I have a lathe over here also for crafting components. This is good for rods and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Fluid solidifier. You know what I'm saying? Which is good for if you liquefy stuff and put molds in here, which I already have these molds. You get the actual products back out of that. You know what I'm saying? This is better than making it by hand because the ratio is better. You know what I'm saying? These are all basic components that you actually need. You know what I'm saying? Gears and rotors and rods and stuff like that. I don't think you can make rods, but plates you can make out of this and all kind of stuff as well. You know what I'm saying? I have a distillery. You know what I'm saying? Distilleries for gases and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? These gases are actually used for a lot of different crafting recipes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So all of these are all the basic important machines or whatever. Then I have a brewery down here. This brewery is to make different well, down here is biomass. Biomass you can turn into liquid fuel, but there's recipes in here if I could find it. It's one of these machines where you could basically make brews or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then you get different potion effects and stuff out of that. You know what I'm saying? But I got all of that done. Some of those machines I didn't need. The rest of them I did need. All of that was basically for the quest line. You know what I'm saying? And then I got up to the EBF. You know what I'm saying? This is the first milestone really in Greg Tech. One of the first major milestones past the steam age. You know what I'm saying? This is to produce steel a lot faster. I was using not the primitive ore factory, the solid blast furnace, the SBF to make steel, but it's extremely slow. It makes steel naturally, but it's super, 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 super slow. And this one just speeds that process up like a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, as with a lot of Greg Tech machines, multi-block machines, you could share a wall. You know what I'm saying? So this is one entire EBF right here, electric blast furnace, and then this is the second one right here that's sharing this wall. And I'm still in the process of building up all the components for that. And The whole purpose of building this entire law structure back here was basically to supply infinite free electricity. You know what I'm saying? And because the solar panels are extremely difficult to make, so I designed this. You know what I'm saying? And this is just basically just having knowledge of the mod. So this is the generated coils and all that is create new age mod. And then everything in the back is just regular base create. And then in the bottom, this is the startup system right here that I created. This is vanilla create. I mean, this is vanilla Minecraft, vanilla redstone. And then I just got a double pulse circuit right here, and this pulse repeated from created whatever. You know what I'm saying? It basically allows me to create a double pulse. So when I turn this on once, it'll turn this entire thing on. And then turn off. You know what I'm saying? This is a whole nother thing for later or whatever. But I talked about a lot of this stuff already. You know, I don't need it to be running right now. And that's basically it. So the only other thing I want to show is my basic SBF that I had. This Hyper 2, I just finished setting this up previously to building the EBF. It took a little hot minute to run this entire line all the way down my base into every single section, but I got it, and you know everything works and all that. So now we coming up on this little setup, and this steam setup right here. I could basically break this down. I'm talking about that in a second. But yeah, this is my SBF right here. This is where I was making steel. You know what I'm saying? I have two of them right here, same thing. You know what I'm saying? This was producing a lot of steel. I might break it down. I could keep because it's still useful, but it's not that useful. And this would be a lot more whistling. Like I could connect the frogs to this and the factory gauges and all that, so I could tell it to keep a stack of steel or whatever, or just make steel passively and all that. Anyway, down here is my basic setup that I had. This is all steam machines or whatever, and I had the polarizer and a couple other machines connected to this steam turbine generator. This steam turbine generator basically turns steam into electricity, and I had the polarizer connected to this. I had the polarizer connected to it. I had the macerator, I believe, even though I know it wasn't the macerator, it was something else. And I had the basic assembler attached to this. You know what I'm saying? So I could build up basic early game stuff or whatever. And these are all the basic steam machines or whatever. Steam forge hammer. This is to make plates. This is to make alloys or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And this is to make rubber and all that stuff like that. And I forgot what I had the rock crusher in here for. Well, it makes rocks and stuff like that. I think I was trying to make deep slate or whatever, because that's gonna be the building block that I use, and I never really actually use this, so maybe I'll just keep it just for this particular machine. But I don't need any of this stuff anymore. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff is redundant now. I could break it down if I want to, but I'm not, because I want the deep slate. And these machines I definitely don't need. You know what I'm saying? That I don't need. You know what I'm saying? But it's good. You know what I'm saying? It's good as it's just a regular relic. You know what I'm saying? This is the steam boiler. This is where you put the coal and all that makes steam. I still have steam in there. That's this right here. And these tanks are still kind of filled with steam. You know what I'm saying? 144 buckets, 144,000 millibuckets is 144 buckets. And have some steam over here as well. You know, on the bigger and better things. You know what I'm saying? And this is, for the most part, this is as much as I did with the steam age. You could do more with it, multi-block tanks and all kind of different stuff and all kind of crazy setups, but I didn't even need to do that because of the create mod. You know what I'm saying? You could basically bypass almost the entire steam age. That's basically it. So, you know, still working on the quest line. I completed this section. You know what I'm saying? We go back to the beginning. So this is the first little section of whatever I completed. Just about all of this. It's like maybe one thing in here that I didn't do. If I look, no, this is entirely completed. That's why it's green. Yeah, I got this entirely completed. So the last thing I needed to do was build. I forgot what it was. This right here. The fermenting machine. No, the fermenting machine is what I was talking about, where you make the brews and all that. No, fermenting casket right here. This is the last thing right here, and this is as far as I got with this. I need to make graphite dust. You know what I'm saying? And this right here, the Certus quartz crystal, is gonna allow me to get to apply the energistics, which means I could fully automate the entire base. My only two options to do that is because I'm using Create 6, I can do the frog ports and factory gauges, which allows you to do applied energistics like stuff as long as you have the infrastructure set up, and I do have it because it requires these chain lines. You know what I'm saying? The frogs spit out packages to the chain lines and put and take packages away from the chain lines, and you can tell it to do stuff or whatever. So I could tell it to keep this stock for the full of iron and coal or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And a bunch of other things. But the easier way to do that, well, I'm not gonna say it's the easier, but the more robust way to do it is applied energistics, and I'm about to get into that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go over it too tough. Applied energistics been around for years. You know what I'm saying? I've used it before. I never went heavily into it because I didn't really need to. You know what I'm saying? You could get the end game basically without applied energistics. I've done it multiple times. I've been doing it for years. But this is a use case scenario where you need applied logistics. You can't get through Greg Tech without it. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, and that's basically it.